welcome back to Cricket 8. I'm Jarrod Kimber. I'm with the Rooster, Rob Barron, Mura Leanne's, Mark Machado here. All things are happening. We're looking forward. We're looking sideways. We're looking backwards. We're looking in every degree that we can on this final to see what is coming up. I think the most important thing in this final, as we have a look at the moment, KKR's odds are 1.9, is that Sunrisers have to be exhausted going into that game. That was as brutal of a T20 game as I think I have seen two teams play. And if I was KKR, I would have been sitting in the air conditioning laughing, Rob, at the fact that the Sunrisers had to go through that.
Yeah, Mark called this really early today.
He did?
It was like, he told us that it takes pro athletes 48 hours to recover, dehydration-wise, to get the right amount of fluids back in your system and be okay again. They don't have that luxury. They'll be playing in 40 hours. And Klassen had to play all the batting and all the keeping, and he's definitely going to be absolutely knackered, and he's their main player. If it spins, it's Chennai again. It's going to be probably a used pitch. We played on pitch number 7 today because they were running out of pitches to use, so it's probably going to be a used pitch. It's going to spin. They've got Chakravarthy and they've got Narayan, but I mean, those two are on a different play. Imagine if those two had been bowling in that second innings. What on earth would have happened? We just saw Abhishek and Shabazz like spinning it round corners. KKR, as you say, Jarrod, are in prime position because they've had a lovely extra day or 2 days off now, and they didn't have to play in that because that looked brutal. And you don't often see every single player looking around and go, I'm absolutely exhausted here. Can someone else do it? And fair play to Jarrell. I mean, how two guys got 98 or 56 between them in a chase of 175 against Sunrisers and got nowhere near winning, lost by 40 or something.
Yeah. Not that we care about that because he's not playing in this game that we're previewing now.
It's a crazy game, so we don't care about that. So I'm glad I didn't.
Jarrell is dead to us.
But
incredible innings.
But moving on, the reason why the 1.9 looks a bit big now is because of Mark's point from earlier. Is they've got to physically recover, and that they've put themselves through the mill to get to the final. I mean, it's not rugby where they've all been battered to hell, but it's definitely a thing, and I'm not sure the market thinks it's a thing.
So the other thing is that we all thought Chennai was going to spin more and more as the season went on. That seemed to spin more and more as that game went on.
Yeah.
If we see a wicket that spins like that next time, I don't know how Sunrisers are going to handle Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarthy unless they're none for 80 or 4 when one of them comes on.
It really feels stacked against Sunrisers. I mean, they found a way to beat, to get into the final and beat Rajasthan Royals today. They're going to have to find a whole new way. I don't know whether they might think about bringing in players. There might be some players who are too exhausted and too dehydrated to actually play the final, and they might have to bring other players in. I don't know. The interesting thing is these two teams played each other, 4 days ago? Or 5 days ago by the time the final rolls around. So they've kind of got data on each other. They should know each other pretty well now. I really think it's hard to look beyond the dehydration though. Like what state will these lads be in when they step on the pitch? Look at Klassen.
I think Tamil Nadu is the state.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll be in Tamil Nadu.
Here we go. but
can I say a positive for Sunrisers?
Please.
Yeah.
They're in the final, and their openers haven't been dominating the last few games for them. Right? They are due. I've always said from the start that Sunrisers were always going to regress because they had too many players in form at the same time. But I also think that there is always an opportunity that one of Abhishek or Head comes off in a one-off game. We haven't quite seen that yet. If that happens in the final, that changes everything.
It sure does, but Jaiswal kind of came off today, and that didn't do Rajasthan any favours.
Yeah, true.
He scored at 200. He was great, 40 off 20 or something. But it was 3 days ago. Kolkata absolutely battered Sunrisers. They didn't just beat them, they chased 162 down with 7 overs left. They absolutely murdered them. They also had the good Mitchell Starc, £2.2 million. And he's played well for 3 overs in this competition.
$1 trillion.
So he cost $1 trillion, and he's decided to play well at the business end. What if he plays well again? They've got no chance. If he plays well and the two spinners are playing on a pitch like that, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. No more talking required from me.
If it swings as well, Aurora and Stark.
So where's your conditions that favour Sunrisers?
I don't think there's conditions that favour them.
Mega Road that can't happen?
It's more they can rekindle their vibes You think there's no way that Sunrisers win this game?
I mean, Sunrisers.
You
look
did
at
say
this,
there was no way that KKR would win this tournament.
So,
we clip that?
which is still very true. Just clip those together. Me saying that KKR can't win the tournament because Narayan has to fail at some point and Salt's going and all that. But just picking this game in isolation, I'm trying to make a case for SRH. Let's say they're all fine.
Yep.
They all
They're all in the drips now, and
they all recovered brilliantly well, and they're in hyperbaric chambers and getting loads of water chucked at them and stuff, and they're all fine. I can't see whichever pitch they play on here. We're back in Chennai. I can't see how it's a pitch that suits them.
Well, I think if you're in the SRH team, you're thinking we've got ourselves to the final, and the last 2 games. We've lost one of those, or we've won one of those.
And we haven't really played that way.
We haven't played the way we want to play.
Yeah,
we haven't executed our plans. We're in the final. Let's get hydrated. We're used to playing these conditions now, and let's play our game, execute our plans, and then we take home that giant, big golden trophy.
Here's the case, is they've got a great captain who's very good at thinking. And that can win you a fight. They've won them that game, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it was an accidental burglary. It was the Brinks map 1983. Went to steal a little bit of gold, ended up stealing the most gold anyone's ever. They were like, oh, there's absolutely loads of gold. Let's nick all that. And they tried the burglary by getting them 1 over in, and then they burgled the whole innings and the whole match, and maybe they burgled the whole of the IPL. But
Is this a true crime podcast?
it's a real thing, yeah. We'll do another podcast, 7-part series on that straight after this. Back to you, Jarrod.
Okay, let's finish up here, Mark. Who's going to win?
I think KKR are going to win.
Okay, well,
KKR cannot win the IPL, but they will definitely win the final.
I think I'm going to have to go KKR as well. The tiredness and the spin are the 2 things I can't get past. Although, all due respect to Sunrisers, they just won a game with their spin bowling. If you said that they won a game with their bowling, I would have said, what are you talking about, Willis? But I don't know what the next level beyond what you're talking about, Willis, is. But that's where we are at. Also one for the kids, though. That's where we're at, because they won it with their spin bowlers. And not even with their Sri Lankan prodigy or their aging wrist spinner, but literally it's bits of spin they found behind the sofa cushions. And, you know, sometimes you have to find a way. They found a way once. Maybe they'll do it again. We all think KKR. So let's see how we go. We will be back on Cricket 8 about half an hour before the final. We've got Mark in, we've got Jack in, we've got Kritika in. Not all at the same time, because this is, it looks like a big studio, but it's not. We're going to fit our fan in because Rob won't do it without a fan aimed at his Johnson. Anyway, big thanks to Mark. Big thanks to Rob. I'm Jarrod Kimber. We will see you again here on Cricket 8 very, very soon. If you're not already subscribed to our podcast, what is wrong with you? Go and subscribe right damn now, and we will see you again very soon, again on Cricket 8.